Hello and welcome to the HârnMaster VTT video series. My name is Stephen Cooper and today I'll be demonstrating the new Jetties location module. It's a great location from Fanon for Harn and it's got lots of interesting places and characters to use as a backdrop for your campaign. Let's go ahead and get started. You see I'm starting from a blank slate with no world. For my initial setup, I'll be creating a world and I'll create a player in order to demonstrate how things look from a player perspective. I'm going to speed this up and I'll be right back when I'm done. Now that we have the world created, let's enable some recommended modules. Since the location modules for Harn make heavy use of lighting to really good effect, I highly recommend a German named module called Speed of Light. This Speed of Light module, it speeds up the light calculations, but it also avoids a bug that's present in version 0.8 of Foundry, where sometimes players will be able to see through walls. The other modules that I'll be enabling are Simple Calendar and Small Time. Small Time is what I'll be using in this demo, and what it does is it provides an intuitive interface for setting the time of day and coordinating it with the darkness level of the active scene. It does integrate with Simple Calendar, so I'm enabling that as well. Since the Harn locations are designed with light sources, this combo ends up being a very cool effect that you get for free, and the Small Time module makes it very easy to take advantage of this. Now that I have enabled those modules, I'm going to make a small setting change before I enable the Jetties module. So what you want to do is go in here to configure settings, and you want to go to module settings, and you want to have affect darkness by default. You want to have this enabled before you import the Jetties module, and that way when the Jetties scenes get imported, they will have Small Time controlling the darkness level by default. So now that we have that configured, let's go ahead and enable the Jetties module. So we go into Manage Module, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on Jetties. It does require Scene Packer, so let's go ahead and enable that, and we're going to save the module settings. This is going to import well over 100 journal entries and scenes, so I'm going to pause here, and I'll be right back once this is done. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and pull up the credits. This Fanon was written by Neil Thompson, and he provides it for free on lithia.com. Neil has graciously allowed us to convert the Jetties module to Foundry VTT format and make it freely available, so thank you, Neil. Other contributors are the usual suspects like Matthias Jensen, Daniel Bell, Tim Falkenberg, and the art is provided by Richard Luchek and Juha Makkonen. Editors Daniel Bell, Danielle Oak, and of course thank you to Tom Rodriguez for converting this to Foundry VTT format. Tom is also the person who has written the HârnMaster support for Foundry VTT, so thank you, Tom, for all you do for the Harn society or Harn community. So the first screen that opens up is the overview. You might be tempted to see this as one of those credit screens or what have you, and just close it. I highly recommend you take a look at this overview. It provides an overview of using the scenes. There's been a lot of work done on the lighting, and this describes how to use the scenes to best effect, talks about how the multi-levels for a single building are in the same scene, and it also talks about how you can leverage, share the images that are in the journal entries with your players. Below this is where the meat of the module is, and it's all nicely organized here and hyperlinked. So we're still in this overview. We've got the background information, we've got the description of the Fallen Tower Inn, we've got the castle, we've got the keep, we've got the village with all of the map markers and who is at them. And we scroll down here even further and we have the list of all the NPCs. So this is a lot of content which, you know, to be honest, you get kind of spoiled with Harn. Absolutely love the amount of detail that's always available in the Harn Fanon and the amount of work that's been done to get this converted over to a very friendly format for virtual tabletop. So I told you, you don't want to close this overview. You really do want to go into the overview. Now, if you do close it, you get back to it, you go to the journal entries, and you see that it's in a folder here. And the nice thing is the overview being so important, it does actually start with an underscore, which means it's alphabetically sorted first, and it pops up right here at the top. So let's go ahead and you can see here we've got a lot of journal entries. This is what took so long on the import. Here's all the NPCs and the locations and the geopolitical background of what's happening. Lots of detail. Really great work. Go over here to the scenes. Once again, the imported entities, scenes this time, are conveniently located in a folder named Jetties. This keeps things nice and tidy. If we open Jetties, then we can see all the maps that are included with this module, which is quite a few. And what I want to look at first is the regional map of Jetties that comes with the module. Let's go ahead and activate this scene. And you can see it's a big town with lots of, let's back out here, lots of marked points. This each marked point has a number, and it corresponds to a number that was in that overview, as you saw. But instead of making you hunt around, what we've done with this is we've added these journal notes. These journal notes are fantastic. You click over here on journal notes, and it double click, and it takes you immediately to the text or the image that's associated with the entry. So as you can see, some of these contain artwork. Now maybe you want to show this artwork to the players, and so what we've done is anything that has the artwork included in it like this, you can click on the image tab and it will have just the artwork, and you can click on show to players, and I'll go ahead and switch over to the player view, which is right here, and you can see that the player is in Jetties because I activated the module and I just was shown this this artwork, lovely artwork. Going back to the GM view, so these notes by default are not visible to your players. You'll notice here in the player view there's no markers, there's no journal entries, anything like that. This is just the typical player map. And if you want these journal notes to be visible to your players, all you need to do is go into the journal entries, and it was the cook laborer here, configure the permissions, allow the players the observer or higher, save the changes. We go back to the player view, and now you see that the player is able to see this particular journal entry. So maybe you can set it up so that as they explore the town, these journal entries become visible. You can, of course, in the text section, standard with Foundry Virtual Tabletop, you could mark something secret. This world is yours to do with as you please. Let's go ahead now and open up an indoor scene. Going back to the GM view, and we go back to the scenes. There's been a lot of work done on the indoor scenes to convert the maps provided with the Jetties module to a format and a layout that works better with virtual tabletops. Narrow corridors have been widened to allow tokens to navigate it without appearing to walk on walls. Lighting has been added so that it follows the time of day. Candles come on when it's dark. Outdoor maps are on a hex grid, while indoor maps are on a square grid. Again, this is to eliminate tokens walking on or through walls. The map work was all done in Dungeon Draft with assets from Forgotten Adventures. As long as there's no charge for the map, Forgotten Adventures is fine with redistributing their assets as part of a map, not just redistributing them en masse. And that is a very generous model, and the assets look absolutely fantastic. One thing you always want to do when you're checking out these maps, and especially the interior maps where there might be multiple levels, is to zoom out. This is really important because the second and other levels are generally on the same scene as the main level, and so this allows you to it's like zooming out, you see the whole picture, zooming in, and you can do what have you. So let's go ahead and take the player. We're going to place the player token. Come on, player. There we go. We'll place the player right here just outside of the inn. And let's go and take a look at what it looks like for the player. Oh, forgot to give the player vision. Prototype token, vision, as vision. Update token, close, and let's place them out again. Now we go over here to this, and you can see we zoom out. We've got the outdoor area. Outdoors is brightly lit. Indoors, we can only see through the window. We've got the cursor controls. Oh, the game is paused. Let's unpause the game so that we can move around. So the player is able to move around the outside. Player does not see the second level at all. And out here, we've apparently forgot to put the light. We'll need to get that fixed. But let's go ahead and open up the door and move inside. Now, we've got the fireplace going, well illuminated because it is daytime. Let's make it evening. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take the time and I'm going to move it forward to dusk. See, the candles came on, and we're now spreading light out from the candles as opposed to in with sunlight. There's still some sunlight, as you can see, but let's go ahead and make it full on darkness. And now you can see that you only see what's been illuminated with candles. So a lot of work has been put in here as far as making the lighting work and have really cool effects. Let's go ahead and make it daylight again. And yeah, this is, if you want to take the players over to the next level, then you grab them and you drop them over here. There are plugins that you can use, modules that you can use that can make it a little bit more seamless as far as teleporting characters instead of dragging and dropping them and what have you. I'm just showing the bare minimum here, and it is, there's been a lot of work done on this to make everything just plain old work the way you would expect it to. So anyhow, this is the Jetties module. I hope you enjoy it. Been a lot of work put into it by the original authors who graciously allowed us to move this over to Foundry, and by Tom Rodriguez in converting it over to Foundry. Thank you to everyone involved.